these series of pictures and newspaper articles will be of interest to anybody who's keen on the Titanic, all things Titanic. And they were sent to me quite recently by my good YouTube friends Chris and Anne from Bridlington, and that was very kind of them. And I'm just going to throw this out at folks. If you have anything of interest that you have a photograph of it or a series of photographs, please feel free to send it to me, and I might be able to put it up on my YouTube channel. This is the Nomadic. This is the tender that took passengers out to the Titanic in Cherbourg. Cherbourg harbour was just too shallow for the Titanic to get in, so therefore they needed a tender, a boat, to take the folks from the dock to the Titanic. And the Nomadic is now sitting down in Belfast harbour, and it's a major tourist attraction because it's the last real authentic connection we have of the Titanic. If you want to see what the Titanic looked like inside, the opulence of the Titanic, you come along and walk the decks of the Nomadic and downstairs and whatnot. And I've done video of it, of course. Here are two photographs taken by Anne from Bridlington in 1994, and the history of the Nomadic actually is very interesting as well. It's fascinating. The Nomadic went through so many different changes in her life since being built, well, probably about 1911 or so. An amazing set of circumstances surrounding this boat. She ended up being placed on the Seine, and she was a floating restaurant, and that's where Anne took these two shots of the Nomadic. Totally refurbed and whatnot for her living museum days in Belfast. So thanks to Anne for taking those two photographs. And this is an interesting postcard. This is a postcard of Newborough in Scarborough. And why is it relevant to the story of the Titanic? Well, it's very relevant because this was the birthplace and home of Edward Harland, and this postcard dates from around that period, and he would have possibly walked these streets as a boy. Edward Harland, of course, Harland and Wolff. And this newspaper article details the connection between Edward Harland and Scarborough, and he has a blue plaque. I can't just read that through the camera lens, but and the newspaper print is extremely difficult for me to read. Well, I can read this. Well, you just about make that out. I'll run the camera down slowly. Got that in the wrong order actually, so it's the middle column I'm going to go down now. There you go. And here we have another connection to the Titanic. This is, I don't know whether you can read that, this is James Moody, and he was 6th officer on the Titanic. I'll try and get onto the writing. And he came from Scarborough, and he was only 24. And well, he was only 24 when he died, and he was drowned, obviously, body not recovered. Oh, that's better. And he's made reference to in this blue plaque, and he also is remembered on his mother's headstone. In Dean Road Cemetery, Scarborough. And apparently, you know, this young lad, you know, saved the lives of several other passengers on the Titanic, but sadly he lost his own. I think that's his mother there, will it be? And this lady holding the cup is James Moody's niece. Honour for our Titanic hero. And this again has a strong Titanic connection. This is detailing a violin that was owned by Wallace Hartley. And Wallace Hartley was the Titanic band leader who is reputed to have led the band in playing Nearer My God to Thee as the Titanic went down. And his body was found days later, and his violin case with his violin was inside. And recently his violin sold for £900,000 at auction, and that's all about it. And it was marked by it was a gift from his fiancée. And it was found years later and recognised and sold for auction, at auction. Great interest in Titanic memorabilia. Violin, originally made in Germany, was found in its case floating with Mr. Hartley's body. Great story. And this is the last newspaper article. And it's very difficult to read. Another string to Bridlington's bow. Again recounting the story of the violin. And this one here is easy to read. Wallace Hartley, 1878 to 1912. He was what, 34? Band leader on the RMS Titanic. Played here during his residence in Bridlington. There's another Bridlington and Scarborough connection, folks. Blue plaque to Wallace Hartley at Bridlington Spa, designed and organised by the author's photo. Great stuff. So thank you to Chris and Anne for sending me these historic and in many ways sad photographs, but fascinating at the same time.